Hi everyone, Chris here from IELTS Advantage with another success story. Today we have Aliha and she's going to share her IELTS story with you guys so that you can learn from her and be successful yourselves. So Aliha, can you start off just by introducing yourself to everyone?
Yeah, my name is Aliha and I'm from Pakistan. I am a doctor. I recently completed my house job from your hospital.
Excellent. And can you tell people a little bit about your IELTS journey?
I have attempted IELTS 3 times. First time I attempted it back in 2017. I was planning to go to the UK for my electives, but then I got a 6 in the writing. So obviously I couldn't go because the requirement was that I should have a 7 in the writing. Then again, I prepared for IELTS through an academy in Pakistan. Through their help, I was able to get a 6.5 in the writing. I gave that IELTS test in September 2019. I was really disheartened because I had failed IELTS for like 2 times. My score required was 7 in the writing, and I was not able to get it. So it was when my husband suggested that I should subscribe to the IELTS Writing VIP course. So I took the course in October 2019. I was using that course and I was watching the videos and going through all the modules. But as I was busy with my job, so I was not able to concentrate fully only on that course. Then I completed my house job in May 2020. So then I had approximately 1 month. So it was when I was just studying for the IELTS for the whole day, and I was practicing a lot of writing. So through this IELTS Advantage writing course, I was able to finally get a 7 in the writing when I attempted my third and final IELTS in June 2000.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because our last success story, he said exactly the same thing, that when
Okay.
he was working, he found it very difficult
Yeah.
to find time to study. But after he just started focusing
Yeah.
completely on the course, then he was able to see a big improvement. And I think a lot of people watching this will be in the same boat, that they're juggling family life, their social life, their professional life, and trying to study at the same time, and it's quite difficult. It is
Yeah.
quite difficult. So going from a 6 to a 7 in writing, what do you think were the main challenges for you, or the things that you find difficult, or maybe you had no idea that they were weaknesses or anything like that? What
Uh,
would you say that you really struggled with when it comes to writing?
Yeah. When I sat for the IELTS first time, then I wasn't much familiar with the writing section. I had no information about what are the structures of the essay, how should I structure my essay. So I just went and I randomly wrote an essay on a topic that was in the exam. So therefore, I think that was my mistake that I got a 6 in the writing. Then when I joined the academy, those people gave us some structures. But I think that they were not also up to the mark that I would have been able to achieve a 7 in the writing. But when I purchased this VIP writing course, then I saw that these structures were really concise, and there were also some phrases or cheat lines that I could use in my essay. For example, in problem solution essays, like you have explained in your modules, I was able to write the same lines when I have to attempt my original IELTS. And also the major mistake that I was making was with my grammar.
Mhm.
I was not very clear with my punctuation and my articles. I had a lot of mistakes in those two things. And also, I attempted to use some high-end words, like I was using a very difficult vocabulary. But whenever I used a difficult vocabulary, I wasn't able to use the prepositions which went with that word. So it was when I saw that IELTS VIP suggests that we should always stick to the basics, and that clarity is the king. So I submitted my 5 writing corrections. In my first writing correction, I got a 6 because my topic sentence was not matching with my main idea. So this was one mistake. Then in my other two essays, I got a 6.5. I had a lot of grammar mistakes and some vocabulary mistakes. But in my third and in my fourth and in my fifth essay, I was able to get a 7 and 7.5 respectively. So because I had corrected a lot of article mistakes and my vocabulary, so through this, I was able to achieve a 7 in the writing.
Excellent. And I like the way that you did it, where you got feedback and you improved a little bit, and then improved a
Yeah.
little bit more, improved a little bit more. And that can be frustrating for a lot of people, because they're like, oh, he's telling me I've got other mistakes and new mistakes and everything. Did you do the video writing corrections?
For my first two corrections, I used the written feedback. But then, as I was scrolling through the VIP Facebook group, I came to know that video corrections are more helpful.
Yeah.
So, third correction, I opted for the video feedback. But in my fourth and fifth corrections, you people totally switched to the video feedback. So
Yeah.
it was really, because writing feedback was never that much helpful as compared to the video feedback. So
Yeah, and the video
that,
feedback, what we tend to do differently is we just focus on the key things that you need to improve. Whereas the written feedback, we'll correct every single mistake, and that can be a little bit overwhelming. That's why
yeah, and
we changed it a little
and clearly when we have a written feedback, it is only the corrected form of our essay, so
bit.
we don't have someone explaining to us. But in video feedback, we have an examiner in front of us who is checking our essay, and that is really really helpful.
Yeah, and what we tend to do is we will, essay one, we'll say, okay, work on structure, and then the next one, okay, you need to work a little bit on topic sentences, and then the next one, okay, prepositions and articles. Next one, vocabulary. And again, well done for taking that feedback on, because it can be a little bit frustrating. As like when you fix one problem and then we say, okay, you fixed that one, now you need to fix this next one. Okay, you fixed that one, now you need to fix the next one. But that is how you learn,
Yes.
how you get better. So well done for that. If we could just drill down into some of the things that you said. You talked about trying to use high end words. Why did you think that that was a good way to do it, before you started working with us?
Because when I used to read my essays, I thought that this is such a basic essay that it would never be able to give me a 7 in the writing. And
Mm.
moreover, some of my relatives who had attempted IELTS before and had gotten a, say, a 7 in the writing, they told me that high-end vocabulary is really important and you should use some difficult words and use a thesaurus or an Oxford dictionary and just search for the words and use them. But I think that this is not a good thing. Because in my second attempt, I did use some difficult words in my essay, but still I wasn't able to get a 7 in the writing, and I managed only 6.5.
Yeah, I think
So
it's a natural thing when you fail a test to think
yeah,
it's because it was too basic or too simple.
yeah,
And in order to improve, I need to make things more complicated and more complex, when really the opposite is true. Because as you said, if you try and use higher level words, you don't know, like you said, the
yeah,
prepositions, you don't know the collocations, you don't know the meaning of the word, the spelling of the word. And it doesn't matter if you use lots of high end words.
mm,
If the grammar is wrong, the spelling is wrong, the meaning is wrong, that
the
is going to
score.
lower your score. And for your relatives, they probably would have got a higher score
Yeah,
if they had have kept it simple. Is that, I think for a lot of people watching this video, they might think that sounds very strange, but I think what most people don't realize is their vocabulary is already good enough. It is already at that level. But when you try and push it further, it can actually lower your score because you make a lot more mistakes. So, I know anyone watching, have confidence in your current level of vocabulary and focus on, obviously try and improve it all the time, but on test day, don't take any risks when it comes to vocabulary, because you're going to make lots of mistakes.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would totally agree with that because even when I was preparing with the academy, they told that we shouldn't repeat some of the words.
Mm.
But in my last IELTS attempt, I used the word government many times, but still
Hmm.
it affect my score, and I got a 7 in writing. So I think it is better to use the same word if you don't know another synonym, rather than using some difficult words that don't go with your task and which ultimately lowers your band score.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you should try and vary your language as much as possible, but the key words there are as much as possible. For some people, it will be impossible to change the word to something correct. So if you think about the word government, okay, I can think of a few other ways of doing that,
I
but on test day, you might
agree.
not be able to do that. Therefore, you're left with a choice. Do you repeat the word, or do you take a chance on a word that is probably incorrect? Repeating the word is a safer bet because, okay, you haven't demonstrated a band 8, band 9 range of vocabulary, but you're looking for a band 7, you know, so you need to be strategic about that. And there are some words that it's impossible to change them as well. Let's say you were writing an essay about the German government.
Yeah,
There's no other way of saying German government.
sure.
You know, you can't say the big country that is in the center of Europe that is next door to France government. Like there's
Hmm.
Germany is Germany, all right,
Yeah.
in English anyway. It's different in German, but but in English, there's no other way of doing that. Or if you were to write um, a essay about IELTS,
Yeah.
there's only a certain number of ways that you could maybe write international English language testing system, but apart from that, on IELTS you have to repeat it again and again and again. And I think that it's very bad advice that some teachers give, that you can't do that, because then students start to take unnecessary risks. And then there are also more functional words like the word the, or a, or
Yeah.
an, or and, or because. You will have to repeat those words constantly, because there's no other way of doing it.
Yeah.
So that's excellent advice, and thank you so much for sharing what you did, because most students are struggling with these things, and it's really good to get the truth from a successful student. So what will you be able to do now that you're able to have a band 7 in writing?
Now I will be able to sit for my medical licensing exam in the UK because their requirement is a 7 in each section and overall 7.5 band score. So finally, I got a 7 in writing, so I can take my exam now.
Well, we need a lot of doctors here in the UK, so you'll be more than welcome, I think, with your 7 in writing. Well, thank you so much, Leah. I really appreciate your time. And in the
Thank you.
future, if you need anything, feel free to get in touch. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.